Welcome back, guys. This is the King of Weebs here. I hope you're all doing well. This is What If Naruto Was the Player Part 3. Last time we left off with Naruto finishing the first exam and giving giving the slips to Sakura and Sasuke so fast that no one even noticed. So they all passed. Hinata did pass as well, and Naruto did notice how Hinata did it all by herself without even cheating. And what he does is Naruto is like, hey Hinata, do you need help? But Hinata's like, I got this. And he just wanted to help her because like he's kind, you know how Naruto is. So the second exam begins. So Anko explains the exam and Naruto's like, I wonder, should I put a shadow on people? Nah, it'll be too easy then. I want to have some fun. And basically the exam starts. I shouldn't really say basically too much. So basically, I'm joking. So the exam starts and it's going pretty similar as usual. Naruto goes to do his business while Sakura and Sasuke go on ahead. And if anyone's wondering why Sasuke still hasn't asked what kind of power this Naruto has, it's because he doesn't know. He really doesn't know of the shadows since he wasn't there to witness it himself. Well, he was the first time he was, but he only saw Igris, not the whole army. And well, I mean, if I got it wrong, I swear I'm going to get flamed by some people. I know some people don't like this. Anyways, oops, I have my laptop right in front of me. Just saying, I made the new thumbnail. I just added the 3. Anyway, Naruto still goes to do his business, and they still get attacked by Orochimaru. And basically, let's not say basically again. So when Orochimaru attacks them, the shadow that was attached to both of them, the both shadows appear and protect them. So Orochimaru was really confused on what just happened there, and Sasuke's like, wait, what? Naruto did this too? And Sakura wasn't really too surprised because she knows that Naruto does this every time. And Naruto basically, I keep saying basically, Naruto now arrives to help them because he did notice that he did feel that his shadows actually came out. So he blitzed past trees and he went at top speed to them and arrived. So now Naruto sees that Orochimaru basically is attacking his shadows and they're getting destroyed, and Naruto realizes that his shadows are too weak against this opponent or against this ninja. So Naruto's like, stand down, and then he shouts out, now rise, Igris. And then Igris rises from the shadows, and Sasuke and Sakura are actually a bit more scared of Igris this time, because last time it was yellow and black, and now it's orange and black, and they feel like Igris has gone stronger. They can feel the power coming out of Igris, and Naruto's like, this might be a hard fight for me and Igris as well. Anyway, let's try our best. And so Igris and Naruto start fighting Orochimaru. Remember, Orochimaru is Kage level, so it won't be easy. Even for a normal S rank shinobi, it's not easy to go up against the Kage level shinobi. A Kage level and an S rank are in two completely different leagues. So Naruto and Igris are actually having a pretty hard time against Orochimaru, since Naruto is not using all his techniques like the Emperor's the Dominator's touch, not Emperor's. I was thinking of Luffy's haki. No, was it haki? I'm not sure. I haven't been watching One Piece for like 2 years, but I know some things like the Emperor's War because I was there to watch that. Anyways, Naruto decides to use the no mana consumption. Igris was actually regenerating a lot of times, and Naruto realized that Even with Igris, he would need Zabuza and Haku's help, but he wouldn't have enough mana to regenerate them more than 3 times each, and Igris has already regenerated twice, and if he only keeps Igris, he can regenerate Igris at least 9 times, and it's better, it's more efficient just with Igris and him, since he is nearly an A rank, but of course it's harder. So Naruto decides to use the Dominator's Touch, and basically once he uses it, Orochimaru basically gets slapped into the ground, well, punched to be honest, and then Igris tried to stab him, but Orochimaru slithered away. So once Igris actually got his sword penetrating, he penetrated Orochimaru with the sword, and Orochimaru turned into snakes and then appeared behind Sasuke and bit his neck, and Sasuke was screaming, and Naruto's like, you, and he used the Dominator's Touch again, and this time Orochimaru was like grabbed and thrown up in the air, and Naruto and Igris sliced him, because Naruto did have his 2 daggers out, and Igris used his sword, and he got cut this time. He couldn't use the substitution fast enough. Naruto was pretty angry. He actually had the Nine-Tails eyes, and Orochimaru can feel the Nine-Tails' chakra, and says, this brat might be a pest in the future. Let me tighten up the seal. And he's about to tighten the seal, and by the way, when Naruto is using a Chroma's chakra, Igris turns from orange to red, and he gets a power boost as well. So now Naruto and Igris are much stronger. That's how they were able to be able to slice Orochimaru fast enough that he couldn't dodge. And then basically Orochimaru's like, I cannot have you get in my way in the future, and literally tightens up the seal, and Naruto's Igris actually disappears, and Naruto's eyes turn back to normal. But Naruto wasn't completely done, and what Orochimaru didn't realize is that Naruto was fast enough to actually slice through his chest, and Naruto's like, you underestimated me too much, and he falls to the ground. Sakura screams for Sasuke and Naruto, and Orochimaru's like, I'll leave you guys to it. Anyways, I better be going right now. I'll see you later, Sasuke Uchiha. And Naruto did hear this, and he's like, what does he want from Sasuke? And Orochimaru left, and Naruto was pretty pissed off that he couldn't beat him. Even with Igris, he realized that he's not strong enough, and maybe he'll be strong enough once he gets to once he finishes the Demon Tower. And Naruto's thinking about this while he's resting next to Sasuke, while Sakura is actually taking care of Sasuke. Then they get Naruto isn't out cold this time. So when the Sound Shinobi actually attacked Sakura, Naruto was there as well. And just saying, the fight against Rock Lee and Sasuke did still happen. If you guys wanted to know about that, I didn't mention it last time because I thought it wouldn't really matter. But anyway, well, it kind of does, because it shows how fast Sasuke is. And I'll say that Sasuke was actually on par with Lee with weights, since he's been training a lot, like I mean way harder. And anyways, so Naruto is now Naruto basically summons Zabuza and tells him, go scare them off. If it's not enough, kill them and take their scroll. Since they and basically Zabuza is able to put them all down, and basically Sasuke does still wake up and breaks one of the guy's arms, not one of the arms, both the arms of one of the sound ninjas. And basically, I said basically again, the leader is like, just let us leave with our lives and we'll give you our scroll. And Naruto's like, alright. And Just saying, Sasuke is still pissed and he wants to kill him, and Naruto tells Zabuza hold Sasuke back. And Zabuza's shadow, well, the shadow of Zabuza, or the knight, was holding back Sasuke. And Sasuke was like, what are you doing, Naruto? And Naruto's like, if I let you go, you'll kill them. And Sasuke's like, killing is not... You can kill in the Chunin exams. It wouldn't matter. And Naruto's like, yeah, I'd rather not go through that. And I don't want to see that anyways. And Sasuke's like, you weakling. And Naruto glares at Sasuke saying, what did you just call me? Wasn't I the one who was fighting off that snake? And weren't you the one who couldn't protect yourself? And Sasuke looks down, and then Naruto says, yeah, so next time don't talk without thinking. And Sasuke is like, god damn it. So Naruto then says, alright, let's go to the tower now. And they arrive to the tower, and it's the same thing. So Sakura does to figure out how to get the thing, how to actually that you have to open the scroll. And then they open the scroll, and Iruka Sensei congratulates them on passing, and Naruto's like, alright, I'll be going anyway now, see ya. And Sakura's like, bye Naruto, and she leaves with Sasuke because Sasuke needs treatment, and she wants to go tell Kakashi about this. And Naruto then goes home, gets his things ready, and since he does have like 5 days before the thing, he straight up just opens the gate. Yes, he opens the gate to the demon realm. The demon realm. Should I repeat that? The demon realm. Have you guys understood? The demon realm. So Naruto now is back. I think last time we left off like on the 6th floor. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but I'll just say he's on the 6th floor. And just saying, he does have a tank now. You know, the demon general. Yeah, he has a tank. And now Naruto is in those 5 days. I'll say that Naruto does only 4 days, and he's able to get around to floor 16. Yes, he completed a lot more floors in less time, since Naruto actually was tryharding, and he had the demon general to use as a tank this time. So it's much easier for Naruto, and since now he has a lot more defense, and the demon general can handle the defense while he can handle the attack with Igris, Zabuza, and Haku. And remember, Haku can still use the ice mirrors. Just saying, he can use Ice Genkai. He can't use it like Todoroki, so don't go don't go off in the comments be like, oh, why doesn't you just freeze everyone? He can use his ice mirrors. I don't know if he could really use the ice like Todoroki, because we've never really seen much about Haku except his ice mirrors. Like, Haku was such a cool character. Like, he had so much potential, man. Anyway, on the last day, Naruto comes back and he realizes he really needs a bath. So he goes to the bath house. He comes out and he sees that Choji, Shikamaru, Neji, Rock Lee were coming in, and also Kiba and Shino. And they're like, oh, hey Naruto, you're here too. Well, Choji says that, and Rock Lee's like, Naruto, fight me. And Naruto's like, yeah, I'd rather not. I've been training for the past 4 days. I'm pretty tired. I want to take a rest before the exam tomorrow. And whoa, I'm so sorry, guys. I just threw something on my laptop. It slid. Sorry. Anyway, I like to fidget a lot. So Naruto now goes to Ichiraku Ramen, and he gets the usual. He eats and then goes to the Hokage office because he wants to ask the Hokage some questions. Remember, Naruto might be strong with shadows, but he really doesn't have many jutsus right now. He only has the Shadow Clone Jutsu, and that's pretty much it, to be honest. I don't like, it always confused me how Naruto only had the Shadow Clone Jutsu until he started training with Jiraiya. It really confused me sometimes. And anyway, so Naruto asks for some new jutsus, and the third Hokage is like, oh, jutsus aren't easy to master, Naruto, and especially since tomorrow is your exam, you should have came to me earlier. And Naruto's like, I can still learn a few, can't I, in one day, easy ones. And the third Hokage is like, well, you see, some jutsu require chakra nature, and I don't know what nature you have. And Naruto's like, can you explain to me what... Well, Naruto doesn't know about chakra nature, since he did kind of pay attention in school, but he really didn't care, so yeah, he still failed. That's why he was in Team 7, he was in the last in the class. So Naruto then's like, well, yeah, I kind of know a bit about it, but not too much. And the Hokage is like, let me refreshen your mind. Chakra natures, there are 5 in total: water, wind, lightning, earth, and fire. And Naruto's like, and basically the Hokage tells him that, I kept saying basically, man. Alright, the Hokage tells him that people can have one, people at least have 1 or maybe 2, and some people can even have 3. And Naruto's like, can some have all 5? And the Hokage is like, that's really rare for people to have all 5. But and Naruto's like, is there anyone who can use all 5? And the Hokage is like, well, there's one right in front of you, Naruto. And Naruto's eyes widen and he's like, wait, old man, you have all 5 chakra natures? And Hiruzen is like, I might be old, but I am still the strongest Hokage. I am still one of the strongest Hokage. And Naruto's like, well, there are only 4. And Hiruzen's like, well, I am I am considered as the strongest Kage around in the whole world. Well, you know, in the 5 nations, the third Hokage was considered to be even stronger than the third the Raikage, I think. Yeah, he was. And Naruto's like, so would you mind teaching me some? And the third Hokage is like, alright, I think I have something here. And he gets 5, yes, 5 chakra nature papers out, and he gives them to Naruto. One of them becomes wet, one of them crumbles up, you know, like what happens when you have lightning, and one of them splits. He doesn't have fire and earth yet, because he remember, once he gets Sage mode, and well, you know, Sage 6-path Sage mode, and once he masters Kuroma's chakra, he gets all 5. Right now he only has 3. His mother's 1, his father's 1, and his 1. And the Hokage is really impressed that Naruto's only 12, like nearly 13, and he already has 3. He can see why he has 2, the water and lightning, because lightning was his father's and water was his mother's. But he's really surprised that Naruto has wind, because not many people in the land of fire have wind release, while Naruto actually has it. And well, apart from him, not many people have it, and Naruto's one of the few people who have wind release. And Naruto's really happy, and he's like, yay, so can you teach me how to use these? And basically the Hokage is like, alright, so here's a scroll with a few C ranked ninjutsus, since you are considered as a C rank in the bingo book. And Naruto's like, thank you. And he goes off. He does learn the wind gale palm, also he learns the water shockwave. Yes, Naruto, well, in the book, in the scroll, he said that there was a water technique that was similar to the water shockwave. It was called the water wave. And Naruto's like, the water wave could be bigger if I increase my chakra. Let me try that. And Naruto made a massive wave once he tried it, and that was literally the water shock wave. Naruto knew how to do it. The water wave is like the first stage of the water shockwave. So Naruto already knew the first stage, and he now knows the water shockwave, even though he doesn't call it the water shockwave. It's actually the water wave. But people, if someone like Kakashi saw the water wave Naruto's using, he'd be like, that's not the water wave Naruto, that is the water shockwave, which is way stronger. And he knows the lightning stream, since Hiruzen the Photokage decided to give him something to the scrolls that can be used as combos as well, like water and lightning can be used together as combos, like first water and then use the water as a conductor for electricity, and use something like a water shockwave or water wave and use lightning stream. So Naruto knows that, and also Naruto knows how to make a lightning clone. So if he doesn't really use it because he likes shadow clones better, but he would use it if the opponent is really agile, like faster than him, in case he needs to slow them down. So if they if they beat the lightning clone, it will actually paralyze them, and if it doesn't work, it will at least slow them down. And water clone, so what he does learn the water prison jutsu. I'm not sure what rank that is, but I'll say he was in it. If it's higher rank than C, I'm sorry if it is and it shouldn't be there, but I'll say he learns it. And also he knows how to combine water and wind, and he can make a really cold, an ice like sphere or technique like Haku. He doesn't know he doesn't know that he could use ice release. Well, he can make ice release by doing the two, but he knows that he can at least try it and make a bit of ice. So Naruto has all those now, and the next day the preliminaries start, and everyone is told about the preliminaries. And I'll say that the fights are exactly the same except for Kiba's one, and yeah, Kiba's one and Naruto's one are completely different. So Naruto doesn't actually have to literally, you know what he does in the original. What he does is he wants to use the water wave, and he says water wave, a water style water wave, and Kakashi, Asuma, Kurenai, and all the other Jonin like Guy, and even the Proctor sees, even I think the third Hokage was it there. I'm not sure if he was. Anyway, he uses the water wave, and it's so big. Everyone's like, that's not the water wave, that's the water shock wave, and they're all confused on how Naruto knows that. And Kakashi's like, maybe Naruto learned the water wave from someone, and he realized that if he put more chakra in it, he can make the water shockwave. But maybe he doesn't know it. It's called the water shockwave. And Naruto then says lightning style, lightning stream, and Kiba gets paralyzed, and Naruto basically blitzes him and says, either you give up or you give up your life. And Kiba has to give up at this point, even though Akamaran tried to actually bite him, but then Naruto just held him by the tail and said, you both die if you don't give up. And Kiba definitely has to give up now, and he says he gave up. And once Naruto went back, Sasuke was kind of jealous of Naruto's strength, and that Naruto can use lightning release, and Sasuke can only use fire, because he only knows about his fire release. He doesn't know about his lightning yet. And all the Jonins the Jonins around Naruto, so Kurenai, Asuma, Kakashi tell him that that's not the water wave, it's the water shock wave. And Naruto's like, but in the scroll he said water wave. And they're like, we don't know who gave you the scroll. And Naruto's like, I asked the third Hokage if he can teach me some, and he said he didn't have time, so he gave me a few scrolls to learn a few ninjutsus. And they understand, and they're like, well, you see, you must have learned the water wave, but since you have more chakra than a usual genin, you put a bit more, so it wouldn't really be called the water wave since it's way stronger. And Naruto understands and says, alright, I'll call it the water shockwave from now on. And so the preliminaries end like usual, and Naruto does still ask Kakashi if he can train him for the 1 month training, but Kakashi says, I'm sorry Naruto, but I have to train Sasuke. And Sakura did still draw against Ino, because she might have trained physically, and but Ino did still have the mind transfer jutsu, even though he wasn't as strong as imagine Chunin Ino or Jonin Ino. He was pretty strong, and Sakura did get Sakura wasn't really up to training. She wasn't really keeping up with training the past 3 days, since she thought that she was strong enough to pass, and now she realized that if she just trained for the past 4 days that Naruto told her to do every day, she might have won. And Naruto says, it's fine Sakura, just don't make this mistake ever again, and Sakura understands. So then Naruto realized that, and by the way, Hinata still gave him the ointment just in case, because she still wants to give it to him. And Naruto takes it and says thank you. So the next day, Naruto has to start training on his own. So what he does is, he doesn't really mind training on his own. So he opens up the gate, and I'll say that he goes in for a few hours, and then he comes out. So now from 16, he's on the 20th floor. He's been there for like 4 hours, yes. In an hour, he's able to do that many floors, because he learned a lot more ninjutsus, and he can use his ninjutsus in the dungeons as well. So he's gone to go get some ramen before going back to his training, and he still bumps into Jiraiya, and Jiraiya does say, do you want to become my student? And Naruto's like, how do I know you're a good teacher? And so then Jiraiya's like, just try to catch up to me and you'll understand. And Naruto actually takes this as a challenge, but says, I want to eat first. So they go eat first, and the little mission begins for Naruto. And what Jiraiya really didn't know is that while they were eating, Naruto put a shadow in his shadow, so one of the knights. So Naruto actually Naruto can already use transportation, just saying. So you know how you can switch places, but it's a full hour cooldown, so that's why he doesn't use it much. So Naruto does teleport, and he's right behind Jiraiya, and he taps him on the back and says, hey, Sir Jiraiya, or Jiraiya Sensei, I'm not sure, I'll call you Pervy Sage, since you were peeping on girls. I got you. And Jiraiya's like, wow. And Jiraiya's like, alright, tomorrow I'll show you what I can do, and tomorrow we'll start our training. And Naruto's like, alright, show me then. So Jiraiya uses the summoning jutsu and summons Gamabunta in the outskirts, in the forest, I mean in the outskirts of the deep village, so no one can really see it, except for a few people, but no, I'll say no one saw it. So then Naruto realizes that this guy is actually really strong, and Naruto asks, just who are you? And Jiraiya's like, I'm one of the 3 legendary Sannin, Jiraiya. And Naruto did feel like the name Jiraiya was familiar, but he didn't really know. But then once Jiraiya said he's one of the 3 legendary Sannin, he came to his mind. I know I said he didn't pay much attention, but he paid attention, but he didn't care about school. He still did learn about the 3 legendary Sannins, Jiraiya, Tsunade, and Orochimaru. And Naruto's like, wow. And because he's really impressed, and Naruto's like, I can't wait for tomorrow. And so he goes home, and Jiraiya's like, I'll see you tomorrow. And Naruto, instead of going home, he opens up the dungeon, because it's like 6 p.m. and Naruto usually goes sleep around like 11, so he wants to do the dungeon for 4 hours, has an hour to go bathe, and then goes sleep. So he goes in the dungeon for 4 hours, and this time the dungeon he can't do full floors in 4 hours now. It actually took him 4 hours to do 1 floor, since the floors now are getting way stronger. And anyway, so Naruto goes back and takes his stuff from his home and goes to the bath. He has a quick dip and then goes back home, since no one was really there, and he goes sleep. The next day arrives, and Naruto is now training with Jiraiya, and Jiraiya's like, before, I want you to show me what you've got and show me your abilities. Naruto does the water shockwave, the lightning stream, the lightning clone, the shadow clone jutsu, the water clone as well, also the water prison on one of his clones. And then Jiraiya's like, is that all? And Naruto's like, well, you see, I got a few more techniques, but I'm not sure if you would believe me if I told you. And Jiraiya's like, then just show me. And Naruto's like, alright. So then he says, rise. And every single one of his shadow, his whole army rose, except for the ones in other people's shadows. Like, those are still in hiding. He only means the ones that are not in other shadows. And Jiraiya's one is still there. And the shadow, and by the way, you know how I said he teleported with the shadow? The shadow stood up. Jiraiya was didn't really notice it because I'll say that he didn't sense the presence, and then Naruto teleported. And so Jiraiya's like, wait, just what is this? And Naruto's like, oh, it's and he remembers that Kakashi said it must be a Kekkei Genkai, and Naruto's like, oh yeah, it's a Kekkei Genkai I have. It's called the Shadow the Shadow Possession. And Jiraiya's like, what do you mean? Is it like the Naruto clan's Shadow Possession jutsu? And Naruto's like, you could say something like that, but I can make dead people into shadows. And Jiraiya's eyes widen and he's like, what do you mean? And then basically he's like, hey Zabuza, Haku, can you come here? And he knows the name Zabuza and he's like, wait, what? And basically Naruto's like, you see, Zabuza and Haku got killed in a mission where once we were versing them, so once we were fighting them, and so I used them, I allowed them to become my shadows since they were really strong and I really needed more shadows. And Jiraiya's like, isn't it kind of disrespectful to make people fight after death? And Naruto's like, well, you see, if they don't want to, I have 3 tries to try to make someone into a shadow. If I can't in 3 tries I can't do any more on them. And also I can cancel the and he tells him that he can cancel the shadows, so the shadows don't have to do it much. So, and Jiraiya understands, and if the person doesn't want to do it and he's able to get them up, and he can just cancel it afterwards. So the Jiraiya understands and says alright. And that's where I'm going to end it off. It's been 31 minutes, or 32, my bad. And I hope you all enjoyed. Please join my Discord server. And also follow me on Twitter and Instagram. And all links in the description. And also, please take care. Stay safe. This is the King of Weebs here. And peace, my good weebs. My weebs! I'm sorry for the ear rape, but my weebs!